Dreamscape presents Fight House, Rivalries in the White House, From Truman to Trump, by Tevi Troy, narrated by Pat Grimes. Preface. When Dr. Tevi Troy approached me about writing Fight House for Regnery History, I had long thought a well-documented, entertaining history of modern White House rivalries was needed. I also knew that Tevi would do an excellent job. As Tevi shows, White House infighting is nothing new. In fact, it is the rule, for there are many reasons for the legendary, often searing rivalries. Some, appointed to serve the president, fight for their point of view. Some fight to advance their careers, while others fight because it is in their nature. And Tevi didn't just dust off a few books to learn about White House infighting. He saw it firsthand while serving in the George W. Bush administration. What's more remarkable is the depths to which the fighting can sink. Harry Truman's Secretary of State, George Marshall, for example, would not speak to the younger White House aide, Clark Clifford, or even mention his name again after one bruising encounter. Over 30 years later, Reagan administration officials sank to planting leaks using the speaking styles of colleagues so that they could escape blame. While many White House aides chronicled in these pages were, and many still are, listed in any who's who of Washington, from Arthur Schlesinger Jr. to Henry Kissinger to Donald Rumsfeld to Richard Cheney to Valerie Jarrett, there are many more figures, important in their day but now long forgotten, whom Tevi describes in gripping and often humorous language. When Tevi mentioned to me that he would be using among his key sources columns written by my father, Robert Novak, and his partner, Roland Evans, I was delighted. Not only because of the family connection, but because for 50-plus years, Evans and Novak produced multiple weekly columns that contained news for the record, remarkable by the journalistic standards today. Most of the news they were reporting came from the sausage factory that is Washington, D.C., and many of the factory workers, as it happened, worked at the White House. The Evans and Novak columns were often the first thing read by Washington insiders to see who among them was up, who was down, and what the inside scoop was for that week. They would also eagerly read them to see if they were mentioned as a source or, more importantly, as a target. My father and Rowley would press sources for information, starting early, having as many as 2 breakfasts a day or long lunches so they could meet more sources and obtain greater information. Which, of course, begs the question: why do sources make themselves available like this, a risky activity, when White House officials from the president on down?
Sample complete. Ready to continue?